Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, welcome to yet another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hi, howdy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone holding up? How we doing? Are we hanging in there? That's what we got to do, right? We have to just fake it until we make it. Unless you truly are rocking it, in which case that is amazing. Good for you. That is awesome. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean that genuinely. If you're just like rocking life right now and things are falling into place for you and all your hard work is paying off, then that is fantastic. And I am genuinely excited for you. Sorry, I've got the sniffles all of a sudden. Like I didn't. And now I started this and suddenly there's, my nose is running and I have a cough all of a sudden. I'm outside as per the usual. There's some kind of hoopla going on down the road. I don't know what's going on. There's quite a few tents selling. I don't even know what. I can't tell. And then it looks like tents as in like camping tents, like they're going to sleep in the park. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure you guys want to hear about that. I really don't have a whole lot to talk about on this episode. It's kind of a quickie. Get you there quick. We're not doing any of the foreplay. We are just getting her done. So, first off, thank you to every single person, everybody who's been tuning in and listening to my nonsense, listening to my incessant jibber jabber about absolutely nothing worthwhile whatsoever. And yet, you guys still choose to listen, to tune in. And man, it means the world to me. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it so much. And again, to all the Canadian folk, all the Canucks out there, and all the people that are listening to me from France, I really extra appreciate y'all because I pick on you absolutely relentlessly. And if you're still listening to me after my picking on you, then you are fucking awesome. Nothing but respect. And salutes? That doesn't make sense. Saluting. I'm saluting you. Salute to you. Salut. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Salut. I know a little French. I have the worst French accent you have ever heard in your life. I remember how to cuss. I remember how to say certain words. I don't really know how to say a lot of sentences, but I still remember this play, or not a play, but a little skit that we had to memorize when I was a freshman in high school. And I, for some reason, still remember it to this day. And it was two people, and I was Christiane, and he was Francois. And there was two of us, and we were like, hello, Francois. Bonjour, Christiane. Il est deux jours. Deux jours? Pourquoi? J'ai rendez-vous avec Michel. Et Michel est ponctuel? Oui, très ponctuel and très impatient. Oh la la! Au revoir, Francois. Au revoir, Christiane. I don't know. And again, I have the worst French accent. All the people in France right now are like, ugh, yikes. Which I don't blame you. You should absolutely, because I do not have this is why I did not do well in French. I did not pick up on it, could not, yeah. However, when I did go to Paris, somehow I was able to kind of understand. I can understand it more than I can speak it. And like I said, for whatever reason, I pick up Russian more and like kind of languages better, like German and stuff. And I think they're cooler than shit. I think Russian and German language is pretty badass, not gonna lie. And by the way, I've noticed there are some Ruskies who have some Russians that are listening. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to every freaking person. Again, Singapore, you guys are like, it's like United States, Singapore, and the UK, which is insanity because they're another group of individuals. I pick on all of the UK, all of it, because I'm a equal opportunity picker-honor. And then Canada rolling in at fourth. I love it. I love it that there are Canadians and the French that listen to me because I pick on you guys, so it takes some tough skin. And I appreciate it. Although I'm going to assume, maybe I'm totally incorrect because you know what they say about assuming, but I'm assuming those that listen to me that are from France and from Canada are probably more on the, they're probably not super lefty. I'm going to assume, or maybe you are. And you guys just listen to me because you're like, this bitch, this chick. Listen to the shit, the smack talking that she does on our countries. Again, I think both countries are beautiful. I really do. Again, not going to lie, I think the Eiffel Tower is absolutely a dumb looking, ridiculous waste of space. But there are a lot of people that are dumb looking waste of space. So, I'm probably a waste of space. I don't really contribute a whole lot either, So anyway, nothing against the country, nothing against the people. I always say this, it is against the government. Not a fan of Canada's government, not a fan of UK, not a fan of the British government, but I am now I'm a very big fan of, but I was not a fan of our country's government at all. When Biden was in office, that was a shit show. So, and on that note, we're going to segue into what's been keeping me up. What the hell has been preventing me from counting sheep? Well, this whole pardoning thing. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Everybody, not everybody, that's a total overstatement, but many people, including, of course, the lovely cackling hens from The View, are having an absolute shit fit. Absolute cow over the fact that the Chrisleys got pardoned, and many people are. And for the life of me, I don't know why. These are not murderers. They are not rapists. They are not pedophiles. They didn't do any kind of harming of any human. And according to them, they are innocent. And yes, they went through a court of law and they were proven guilty. But you know what? I can tell you from experience, the prison system, our judicial system, is incredibly flawed and backwoods. And they don't always, it's flawed, put it that way. And they treat prisoners like shit. And you're probably again saying, well, they're prisoners, so who cares? They did a crime, so who cares? They murdered, so who cares? They raped, so who cares? And I get that. I get it. But here's my thing. If you are going to have prisoners, if you're going to sentence them to anything other than death, if you're going to sentence them to like back-to-back life in prison, meaning they're going to die in prison, but you are not going to put them to death, but you're going to have them die in prison, I don't think that means, though, that you should deny them edible food, which I know for a fact, because I have friends that have done time in prison and have worked in the kitchen, and it is said, not for human consumption. They actually get food in boxes that actually say all over it, not for human consumption. There are maggots sometime in food. The food is spoiled. They will be subjected to not being able to go to the doctor the whole time they're there or get any kind of medical attention. So I look at it like, if you're just going to torture them, if you're just going to keep these people alive for the entire purpose of feeding them horrendous, inedible food and not letting them get medical attention. And it also costs money, by the way, to email and to talk on the phone to your loved ones when you're in prison. And it's expensive. The phone costs $4 to $5 per minute. And you're allowed to talk up to 15 minutes. Usually you have to wait in line for quite some time. And it's literally $4 to $5 in federal prison anyway, per minute to talk on the phone. And then emails are like 10 cents per email, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up over time. Commissary, you're only allowed to get up to something like $350 a month, I want to say. That's not the exact number, but it's a round in there. And they do that, of course, so that like when the mob would get put in prison, they would buy everything in commissary and then they would make money off of it. So they're trying to prevent that, which that I get. That totally makes sense. You don't want one person to buy up all the commissary and then not have other people be able to buy it. But point is, it's incredibly, incredibly expensive. And again, yes, if they are murderers, if they are rapists, if they are pedophiles, you don't want to have mercy on these people. However, I'll say a couple of things. One, you again, either sentence them to death and kill them, or sentence them to life in prison, but don't slowly kill them and torture them and give them like stomach bugs and kill them off by feeding them shit food. That is just incredibly inhumane. And again, I understand a lot of these people don't deserve to be treated like a human because they have taken a life. I get that. But then we should have the death penalty. Then they should be put to death. Because if you're going to sentence them to live in prison, they need to at least be eating food that's edible. And so everyone's having a cow over the Chrisleys, and it's like, okay, first of all, they say that they are innocent. They didn't do what they did. Let's say they are guilty. Let's say they did, tax evasion and something like $30 million. Okay, let's say they did. They've done almost 3 years. They've done 2.5 years in prison. That is 2.5 years more than any politician, anybody that worked on the Biden administration has ever got for all of the fraud, all of the fraudulent spending that they have done and all the crimes that they have committed, which they haven't done a day of prison. These guys have done 2.5 years. 2.5 years. First of all, they didn't hurt anybody. Secondly, prison doesn't reform. Prison does not. We have the highest I always forget that word, where they just commit crimes over and over again and they continue to go be part of the system. It doesn't help them. They don't get good counseling there. They can see a counselor once or twice a year. That's it. Sure, you can get your GED. Sure, you can take parenting quote classes, but all they are little packets. And they're usually held by some other inmate that doesn't have any type of degree, that doesn't know what they're doing. So you're not learning anything. You're not learning how to balance a checkbook. You're not learning how to deal with your feelings. You're not learning how to pay bills. You're not actually learning anything. So you're not getting rehabilitated. Prison just costs a fuck ton of money for taxes. It takes up a whole boatload of space for people that should be in prison, like serial killers and pedophiles and all of that. But it doesn't do any good to throw someone in prison that supposedly stole money, allegedly stole money. And again, they claim that they didn't and that they were screwed over by completely corrupt people, which I 100% would not doubt. I don't doubt. But even if they committed the crime, they've already served 2.5 years. Savannah, the daughter, had to actually take her time and energy to fight for her parents. She didn't just go around handing out, blowjobs and sleeping with people and spending money. She actually had to do her homework and go and, write letters and go have meetings and stuff. And so I say, good, we don't need more people in prison to waste space for those that should be in prison. And prison doesn't reform anybody. We have a reoffense rate. Is that what it's called? America's not doing it right. So I really want to get involved in prison reform because it needs a complete overhaul. And the Chrisleys have brought that to light. And I think it's amazing. And the fact that Whoopi fucking Goldberg and Joy Behar and a lot of people seem to have a problem with that is ridiculous to me. Mind your own fucking business. It doesn't affect you. The Chrisleys getting out of prison doesn't affect you. Yet these same people are okay with Carmelo Anthony, who actually did, well, supposedly, allegedly, but He admitted that he did it. He said he did it out of his own mouth. And there is tons and tons and tons of proof that he did it. Everybody saw him. There were a bajillion witnesses, but allegedly, I have to say, so I don't get in trouble, even though he said he did. No one has a problem with him walking around. No one has a problem with him living in a $900,000 freaking house or whatever. No one has a problem with the fact that he took a life. People are making excuses and saying why it's okay that this kid took another kid's life and why it's okay that his bail got reduced by something like $550,000. No one has a problem with that. A killer, an actual killer who's not remorseful at all, shows no signs of remorse, so he's probably a sociopath. And no one has a problem with that, but somehow we have a problem with the Chrisleys who have already done 2.5 years. We have a problem with that. People need to get a life. People really need to get a life, and they need their priorities straight. I highly suggest if you don't smoke weed, maybe you should start. If you don't drink, maybe you should have a shot. If you're not having sex, maybe you should have sex. If you're not getting exercise, do that. If you're not going to church, do that. Maybe you should punch a punching bag. Maybe you should remodel your house, clean your house. Worry about you. Because worrying about the Chrisleys being out and not worrying about Carmelo Anthony being out is insanity to me. And you need to get your head on straight and checked. It's time for a physical and going to a counselor. Because if you're on board with Carmelo Anthony being out and not on board with the Chrisleys being out, you genuinely are an idiot. I'm sorry. Henry, come here. Come on, Hen, let's go. Henry. Sorry. You genuinely need your head screwed on a whole different direction. And that's my thoughts on that. We need to not say, I would never do that. I would never say that. I would never do this or that. There's a lot of people, you never say never, because there's a lot of people until you're in that situation, you have no idea what you would say, how you would respond, how you would act. And there are a lot of people in prison that don't deserve to be in prison. And then there are people that maybe they did do something bad and they genuinely have changed. Maybe they did something because they were drunk and they didn't mean it, not excusing it, not condoning it, not saying it's okay, just saying sometimes really good people make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are huge, like drinking and driving and killing someone. That's awful. But I don't think that being in prison forever fixes that. I think that's counseling. I think that is them volunteering for, Mothers Against Drunk Driving or whatever, them going out and speaking out on drinking and driving, going out and having to do a lot of volunteer work against drinking and driving and speaking out for it and stuff like that, getting counseling, being in rehab, just so many things. But prison, I'm not saying that people should get away with a crime. If you kill someone, that's awful. And I'm sure the victim's loved ones want to see some type of accountability. But jail is not the answer always. It doesn't reform people. And I think it's a waste of space for people that commit tax crimes. Again, I'm not condoning them. We should all follow the rules. We should all follow the law. And I believe in consequences and accountability. But 2.5 years for something that they claim they didn't even do. And even if they did do it, again, I don't see any politician or most people ever even going to prison for that. And they were sentenced to 12 and 7 years. Julie was sentenced to 7 and Todd was sentenced for 12 years. That is so above and beyond. That is overachieving. And again, Carmelo Anthony, I know he hasn't had his trial yet, but I will bet you $10 trillion that kid won't even spend 12 years in prison. And they were going to put Todd Chrisley in. He was due to have 12 years and Julie at 7. That is ridiculous. There are gang members who haven't done that. And again, we're on board. The lefties are on board with murderers and pedophiles and sex traffickers and the cartel being here. not having accountability, and then saying they deserve due process. No, if you came here illegally and you completely skipped over due process coming here, if you didn't follow the law coming here, if you are here illegally and you're not a citizen, you do not deserve due process. No, you don't. You don't deserve any of our rights here. None of them. And you certainly don't deserve to be walking around our streets. And the fact that there are still people out there jibber-jabbering, crying, oh my God, this child was ripped away from her parents. No, her parents made a really bad parenting decision. They're terrible parents. And they decided, or maybe they just wanted what's best for their kids. Okay, I won't say they're terrible parents. I'm sure they're great parents that just wanted a better life for their child. They didn't want to be in Mexico. They thought it was a bad life. They wanted America. I get it. That makes sense. I have kids. You want what's best for them. But you don't do it illegally. If you do it illegally, it's not Trump that ripped you guys from each other. Trump didn't tear the family apart. You knowingly made the conscious choice, as I've said 1,000 times on all of my podcasts. I've said this a million times. I know I sound like a broken record, but if you knowingly choose to come across this border illegally with your children, then that is the same as me choosing to kill someone, knowing that the consequence is prison. So I'm not going to see my son or daughter. I'm not going to see my kids. I'm going to be taken away from my kids. Now, is that a judge's fault? Is that jury's fault? Is that America's fault? No, it's my fault because I chose to commit a crime in which I knew I could go to prison for and be ripped away from my family for. I chose that, knowing the consequences. And I chose to get my children involved. So if you're choosing to go across the border, knowing that it's illegal, knowing that you may very well be taken away from your children, that is on you. I won't say you're a bad parent because I understand you want what's best for your child, but you aren't making a good choice. And again, it's not Trump's fault. And also, he's not telling you you have to be away. If you have legal guardianship, if you have like a legal father or a legal mother, if the mother or father is legal, the child can stay in America with the legal parent. They just have to make a choice if they're going to go with one parent to the other country that they're from when they're deported, or are they going to stay with the other parent here in America? Again, that's not Trump ripping anybody away from anybody. That is parents making poor choices, or making a choice, I should say, a choice, and then suffering consequences from a choice that's illegal. It's a crime. It's a crime to be here undocumented. And if you think that's a problem, well, tough shit. Because I got to tell you, there's a trillion other countries out there, Canada and France, that do not allow you to just live in America. You cannot just live in Canada. You don't get to just walk over the Canadian border, and they don't give you free healthcare, free everything, and let you be a citizen and say, here you go, when you go across this border, here's your Canadian citizenship. That is not how it is, Canada. That's not how it is, France. You don't get to walk into France and go, I live here now. I'm a French citizen. I am now French. I get to have all of the benefits and rewards. And there are some countries that'll throw you in prison. They will throw your ass in prison, and it will not be a good prison. It will not be a kind prison. It'll be a very, 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 very terrifying prison if you come to their country and you are illegal. So let's not act like America is terrible. Because if America was so terrible, why does everybody want our money? Why does everybody want us to protect them? Why does everybody want to move here? Why does everybody want to leave their country and come here then? Why aren't they fleeing to other countries? I mean, they are. I know that there's illegal immigrants in Canada and other countries, of course. But I mean, we have a shit ton coming here. That's the American dream, the American dream. They don't say the Canadian dream. I have a Canadian dream. Nobody says that. I have a French dream. I have a South African dream. And by the way, South Africa, what in the fucking shirt balls is up with your fucking country? You guys are horrid. Again, not the people. I won't say the people. Well, I am going to say the people, actually. And your president, or whatever the fuck you call him, is a piece of shit, just so you know. Absolute garbage. Speaking on behalf of every white person, Suddenly we forget about all the Irish slaves and the fact that redneck, the term redneck, came because the poor Irish slaves were out in the hot sun so much that their necks were blistering red. They didn't get reparations. No Irish person, no white person has gotten reparations for being white. We don't get white benefits. We don't get a month dedicated to white people. And guess what? There's actually been more white slaves. And if you count the Jews, they happen to be Caucasian. They're Jewish, but they're white-skinned. And the Polish are pretty white-skinned. They're not black. But there have been, I know they weren't slaves. I'm just saying white people have been hated on as well. And there have been white slaves, and also black people have owned black slaves. And somehow here we are in 2025. And if I hear one more motherfucking thing about oppression, Henry, if I hear one more goddamn thing from somebody going, oppressed, while Carmelo Anthony is out, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. I really am. And I'm sure that the Irish are like, fuck you. Know your history. You want to talk about slavery? Talk to an Irish person. Granted, nobody's alive that's suffered through that, but that's the other thing. It's not slavery anymore. So get the fuck over it. Seriously, quit crying. And I'm getting tired of seeing all these videos of people acting like absolute idiots. Absolutely disgraceful idiots. I don't care what color of skin you are. I don't care what color of hair you have. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care who you put your penis in. I don't care what gender you are or what you identify as. I'm so sick and tired of the disrespectful nonsense and the absolute disgraceful, disgusting, disturbing behavior that is going on lately. People fighting elderly, bullying kids bullying kids being so sexual, absolutely inappropriately sexual, dressing so inappropriate, so sexual. It's just gross. And these other countries, again, like Canada and England, they're all about like, woo, let's be woke. Let's just be free of everything while taxpayers pay. It's not free, by the way. They have like 60% of their check goes to these quote, free benefits. I hate it when people use the term free. It's not free. It may be free to you. It certainly isn't free to me. I know because I'm getting almost $900 a month taken out in taxes. $900 a month I'm getting taken out in taxes to pay for lazy people's free shit, free food, free healthcare. I'm getting really sick and tired of people that don't work at all getting childcare credits. Credits for what? You're not the one that paid for anything. I should get the credits. I'm paying for everybody's healthcare. I'm paying for everybody's daycare. I'm paying for everybody's food. I should deserve the credits. And instead, they're getting money back. Like $2,000 per kid. If you don't work, you can get a shit ton of money back in America if you have a boatload of kids and you don't work. So I'm getting my money taken away and I'm getting taxed. And then I owe money on top of the fact that I'm getting $900 taken out. By the way, I make $21 an hour. And in Oregon, the minimum wage is $15. So it's not like I'm making, $90,000 a month. And by the way, the richer you are, the more you get taxed. So if one more welfare recipient says, tax the rich, who the fuck do you think is paying for all of your shit? You aren't. You know you aren't working. So if you're not working, you know you're not paying for it. Who the goddamn fuck do you think is paying for your shit? And if you are working and you're purposely working barely at all so that you can get free stuff, who do you think is getting taxed? You're getting taxed. You're not getting taxed. You're getting money back. You're getting money back every year and you're getting free shit. Who do you think's paying for that free shit, bitch? The wealthy. Yep, the middle class and the wealthy. You aren't. You're getting money back. So stop complaining. And why aren't you? Why in the hell are people that aren't working at all getting money back? That's my goddamn money. So my Social Security is getting stolen by the government that they mandatory made me pay for. I had no choice. wasn't an option. They said, you're paying for Social Security so that later in life you will have it. And now I won't have it. So they owe me. I did the math. Of course, I didn't make the same amount every single year and all of that. But on average, I paid in $98,000. That's just gone. $98,000 of my money that I was forced to pay to our government so that I would have it is going to be gone, because it goes to people that aren't really disabled. And then it's going to go to the people that need Social Security now. So I'm paying for everyone to have 1,000 kids and have supposed free stuff while I'm working my ass off, barely sleeping, working 1,000,000-hour shifts while I'm stressed out and have a crap ton of stuff going on in my life, working my absolute ass off so other people can have free shit and all they can say is, tax the rich. No, you fucking pay for your shit. How about you get a job? And if you have a job, how about you get 2 of them? Because I shouldn't have to pay for your children because you don't believe in birth control. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm not actually sorry. I am not against people being on welfare. If you are working hard and you're trying to get a leg up and you're trying to get on your feet, I'm not against welfare. I say get free shit if you're working. Get free shit if you're a hard-working person, but don't use it for your whole life. It shouldn't be your goal to stay on welfare. Nothing against welfare. I was on welfare, but I was also working full-time, going to school in the evenings, and taking care of my children. So my goal was to not stay on welfare. My goal was to get off of welfare. So if your goal is to stay on welfare, I have a problem with that. Don't have a problem with people that need welfare. It's there to help men or women, parents, people, humans that need it to get a leg up, to help, not to support. But free stuff to illegal immigrants is absolutely asinine. Putting people in jail over tax evasion, asinine. Keeping people out of prison for murder, asinine. And the fact, if you are someone that believes that people should mooch off the system and tax the rich even more than they're already being taxed, then you don't know economics and you don't have a brain and you're a pretty narcissistic, selfish person. And maybe one day you'll be rich and you will feel the burn of the taxes. And maybe you will have to, I think, again, you should invite all the illegal immigrants into your home and you should pay for their health care and their food and their cell phone and everything. And if you're not doing that, you need to shut the fuck up and stop saying how you're against them being deported. Because if you're not supporting them, if you're not allowing them in your home, and if you have your doors locked and windows locked and you have a gun or you have a fence or you have a security system, then shut the fuck up. Because America should be allowed to have a security system. If you have a fence and you lock your doors, we should be able to secure our borders. And if you're not allowing these people to stay at your home and you're not going to pay for these people's education and food and health care and cell phones, then you do not get to talk. And if you're not working, you don't get to talk. You have no say. Well, you can talk, but no one gives a shit. It's going to fall on deaf ears. And when you're going to go around promoting people to be beat up and bullied and lose jobs and fired and be censored because they have a different opinion than you, you have no heart. You are a heartless person. And people are tired of it. The world is just getting disgusting with narcissistic, evil, uneducated morons. It's not a good combination to be a narcissistic moron. Let me tell you, that's a pretty ugly combination. We don't need more narcissistic, lazy morons. If you don't like someone else's opinion, don't listen. There's this cool thing that you can do. You can, walk away. You can put down the phone. You can turn off the TV. You can stop scrolling. There's 100 options for not listening to someone that you don't agree with. You don't have to have them fired and ruin their entire life. You don't have to go vandalize cars and blow up buildings. and then claim that you are a really loving, peaceful, accepting, non-judgmental, open-minded person. I'm so tired of this. This whole Chrisley thing, I'm being pardoned and people actually having a problem with it. I'm like, are you ever going to shut the fuck up? Is the left ever going to be happy? Take care of me more. You're not giving me enough free stuff. I want more free stuff, more free stuff. Well, I'm not working and sitting and getting fat and eating all the food and taking up all the oxygen and vandalizing things and destroying things and not having any respect whatsoever for people's things that they bought, because you don't buy anything, because you don't have any money. You have everybody else buy them, so you have no appreciation or respect for things. Or yourself, clearly, because people that do this are insecure people. They're either highly insecure and hate themselves, or they're incredibly narcissistic. One of the two. Those are the only two things you fall under. You're incredibly narcissistic, or you're incredibly, extraordinarily insecure. And we don't need more people like that. We need good people. So if you are someone that cares if the Chrisleys is out, I highly suggest you get a cat, get a hobby, have sex, smoke something, drink something, go to church, but shut the hell up. Mind your own business. It doesn't affect you. It literally does not affect your life in any way whatsoever. And if you keep screaming more and more, I want more, again, sit down, take a seat, put some duct tape on your mouth, put your fingers in your ear, put your thumb up your ass. No one cares. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I know I'm being rude and fired up, but I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. So I choose to, again, breathe it out, walk it out, choose to focus on all the good people. I have so many good people that I see every day. I am very blessed to have a job that I have a lot of wonderful, caring, kind, compassionate, educated, thoughtful, respectful people. We need more of that. We need to be having more grace. We need to have grace. We need to have humility. We need to have morals, and we need to have more respectful people. So if you're one of those people, if you're a good person, if you truly are non-judgmental, or if someone else has another opinion that differs from yours and, you don't quite see eye to eye, but you can still be respectful, then cheers to you. Cheers to the kind, patient, respectful, hardworking people out there. I know I said that on my last podcast, but I feel like those of us out there don't get enough shout out. We just get told what we're not doing enough of and how we're not taking care of enough people and we're not working hard enough to support all these illegal immigrants. So I'm shouting out to the legal immigrants that got here legally. Shout out to you. Shout out to the countries that are walking the walk, not the ones that are sitting there acting like they're cool and so wonderful and then turn around and don't let people live in their countries. Hypocrites. Oh, man, sorry, there's something in the back. Someone's singing. Ooh, not well. Ew. Sorry, that's not very good singing. Ooh, anyway. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I am getting fired up. I realize it. And this is where I'm going to lose a lot of people. People are going to be like, wow, she's being rude. She's being disrespectful. She's just shouting out stuff. She's angry. She's just being mean. And maybe that's true. But when you get poked and 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 poked, at some point, you're going to bite. At some point, you're going to be like, okay, I'm patient. I'm turning the other cheek. Oh my God, that sounds terrible. And it's getting louder. It's like following me and I'm walking away. And it's getting louder. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's not good. She's singing Ariel, part of that world. And anyway, shout out to the non-douchey people out there. Shout out to the hardworking people. Shout out to the non-judgmental, to the tolerant people. Shout out to those that don't let the crazy left bring you down and tell you, you're not allowed to feel a certain way and that you have to do this or you have to do that. Shout out if you stick up for yourself and you didn't get the vaccination, which we ended up being correct about. And Biden was sick. We were correct about that. No conspiracy theories over here. 0 conspiracy theories. All correct. So, shout out to those that were told they were conspiracy theorists and were not. Shout out to those that stuck to their morals, that didn't go around vandalizing things, that didn't riot, that didn't destroy. Shout out to those that didn't try to have people censored or fired. Shout out to those that still open up doors, that still shake hands, that still look people in the eyes. Shout out to those that are hardworking. And if you're on welfare, I don't care. Like I said, it's okay if you're hardworking. It's okay if you have a job and you need the help. But it just shouldn't be your goal to stay on it, right? So shout out to everybody out there that's working hard and listening to me. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate it more than anything. And I'm on a tyrant. I'm on a little tyrant? No, rant? I don't know. Tirade? Whatever. I'm on a soapbox. And I'm sorry about that, but sometimes you just got to get it out, you know? So I'm going to breathe. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to control what I can, focus on what I can control, and I'm going to give my energy to the good. I just had to vent it out, you know, but I'm going to focus on the good. I really am. So thank you so much. The good is all of those out there that are still listening to this episode and all the other ones and that will continue to do so in the future. You all rock my socks. I'm wishing you the best day, evening, night. Until next time.